Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Elon Musk.
All right. Where are you?
Alto.
You're in Palo Alto, and
Yeah.
not Washington, D.C.
I'm at Tesla Global Engineering Headquarters in Palo Alto.
Yeah. So no more Washington, D.C. You're back at work. You're focused. Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't been to DC since May.
Okay.
That was a hell of a side quest.
That was a good sign. Any lessons from your time in Washington, D.C.?
The government is basically unfixable.
Elon, only.
I applaud David's noble efforts in this. It's good to have talented people in the administration, but at the end of the day, if you look at our national debt, which is insanely high, the interest payments exceed the Defense Department. War Department budget, and they keep rising. So, if AI and robots don't solve our national debt, we're toast.
Which is a great segue. Optimus is, I think, going to be the greatest product in the history of humanity. What's the progress like, and how many of your cycles are going specifically to Optimus? What's the timeline? I think you're on version 3, maybe 4. Tell us everything.
Yeah, no, everything would take a long time.
We've got time.
We're finalizing the design of Optimus version 3, and that really is going to be a very remarkable robot. It will have essentially the manual dexterity of a human, so meaning a very complex hand. An AI mind that can navigate and comprehend reality, and it will be made in very high volume. Those are the 3 things that are missing. Like if you see any other robotics company, they're missing those 3 things. Those are the 3 really hard things. I spend actually at this point it might be more of my mental cycles than anything else, any other single thing on Optimus. That's solving for real-world AI, all of the electromechanical issues of Optimus, the supply chain and production challenges of it, because there is no supply chain that exists for humanoid robots. So we have to recreate it from scratch, and which requires doing a lot of vertical integration. None of the actuators in Optimus are available from an existing supply chain. But I think it is accurate to say that if successful, Optimus will be the biggest product ever.
And the cost of it at scale, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a robot. What do you think the first wave of them will cost? And when will we be able to buy one to work on the ranch?
I think that the marginal cost of production, once you hit 1 million units per year, is probably around the $20,000 range. It sort of depends on how much you spend on the AI chip in the robot. And you need to achieve a lot of efficiencies in the actuators. There are 26 actuators per arm, like 26 electric motors, gearboxes, and power electronics. But the AI chip will be pretty expensive. Like that might be like $5,000 or $6,000 of the bill of materials, maybe more. But I think at volume, at 1 million units a year, the production cost is probably on the order of $20,000, maybe 25, something like that. And the price will be as a function of demand.
Elon, can you maybe explain to everybody why the hand is so important to get right, and why, the actuator design is so unique, and why it's so difficult, why nobody makes it, and why you have to start there almost to build the rest of the robot properly?
Well, it turns out the human hands are they've evolved to be this incredibly sophisticated machine. Like your hand is actually a remarkable thing. Look closely at your hands. And think of all the things you can do with your hands, which is a lot.
I can think of many things. Yeah, I was just thinking about something.
Your hand's a very versatile instrument.
Yeah. You could give a high five.
Very versatile. You can swing a baseball bat. You can thread needles. You put thread in a needle. You can play the piano with the violin. You could disassemble or assemble a car. The hands are incredibly versatile instruments. Most of the muscles of the hand are actually in the forearm. So your hand is kind of like a puppet. Like it's mostly a puppet. The muscles are coming from the forearm, and they're pulling the tendons, which are also human tendon design or human tendon evolution is incredibly good. So you've got this web of tendons. You've got I think the human hand has something like, depending on how you count it, 27 or 28 degrees of freedom per in the hand. It's amazing. So in order to create a robot that can be a generalized humanoid, you must solve the hands problem.
Yeah. We had Ari.
It's got hands, needs hands.
Yeah. And so is it like when you were first building Tesla, where the supply chain doesn't exist and now you have to go out and find folks to work with and build all this vertical integration, get support? Is it literally like it's just nowhere to be found and you're going to have to build all of this stuff up?
Yes, we could not actually buy the actuators for any amount of money. They simply didn't exist, even though there are, 10, 20,000 electric motors out there of various sizes and shapes. We've had to design every electric motor, gearbox, and the controlling electronics from scratch, basically from physics first principles.
Well, the good news is you've got a lot of experience with factories over the last couple of decades. So how challenging is this versus Cybertruck, Model Y,
Model X,
Gigafactory, the Fabergé egg known as the Model X? Yeah.
Right. It's harder than any of those things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Much harder? Significantly, yeah.
Starship?
Yes. Well,
harder
at
than
least
Starship?
No, not hard. Starship's harder. Starship's harder.
So somewhere between a Model X and a Starship.
Yeah.
What's harder, the hardware or the software?
Right now, we're struggling with the final design of the hardware. Like I said, it's really primarily the hand. Not to just dismiss the rest of the robot. The rest of it's also important, but the hands, inclusive of the forearm, are a majority of the engineering difficulty of the entire robot.
And then let's assume you get past the hardware challenges. How much do you sort of get for free based on all the progress that's happening with LLMs? Will consumers just be able to interact with this, talk to the robot, ask it to do things it'll understand, and sort of?
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
You're spending a lot of time with Annie, I noticed, online.
Not that long. Maybe I went a little over the top promoting Grok Imagine, but...
Well, but in all seriousness, those characters and these robots, that seems to be, like maybe they...
You could get the embodiments of Annie, I suppose.
Yeah.
Why the human form factor, Elon? You could make something that's maybe better than a human, or maybe simpler than a human to do specific tasks, and maybe better than a human to do more things than a human can do. How do you decide to make it just like a human?
Well, if you wanted to do all the things that a human can do, it turns out you need a humanoid robot. So if you want to just do a subset, that's much easier. But it turns out humans evolved to the shape and capabilities that we have for good reasons. It actually is there is like there's value to having 4 fingers and a thumb, and even the pinky actually is quite useful. Toes are much more a question mark, but the fingers.
Well, also humans have designed the world as well, so we designed it for us. So
exactly.
if you can make a humanoid robot, it'll be immediately backwards compatible with what we've built the world for.
Precisely.